Alrighty, what's up, everybody? I know it's been a couple weeks. I was out of town last week. Had a grand old time celebrating one of my best friend's wedding and hanging out with the homies for a week. Much needed to see them because it had been a long time. So I hope everybody had a good week while we were not live with you all last week. Hope everybody had a good week, had a safe week, and nobody, lost any fingers or toes or anything like that. But
Yeah, man, watch your fingers and your toes, all right, bro. You got to take good care of your
take care of
fingers and your
yourselves.
toes. Wear shoes in the house, all right?
But yeah, I'm glad to be back. Ready to get after it again. Not a very exciting week or a couple weeks news wise. At least not from what I saw. But as far as newsworthy things in the sports world, which what we're gonna start off with, Arkansas is now ranked after yesterday, number 8 in the country.
Let's go,
We
Arkansas.
have not been ranked that high since 2012 when Bobby Petrino was our head coach.
And you know why I love that? Because it makes our one loss on the season look not that bad
It does.
right
It does help Texas's one loss on the season not look that bad because you now have basically lost to the number 8 team in the country, who, by all looks of things right now, and this is obviously me being biased because I'm a Razorback fan, but also trying to remain just objective as I can. We are a pretty well-rounded football team, all over.
And the other reason why I love the Arkansas win this week is because you beat the Colt in College Station. Those
True.
fucking Aggies. I
did
hate
beat the
them.
Aggies.
I hate them. I hate them. The Colt.
Everybody hates the Aggies.
Yeah, they have cheer practices, bro.
That's kind of dumb.
Let's get together on Friday night at the stadium and go over what our cheers are going to mean this week.
Well, it doesn't matter because there
Our
wasn't much
yells.
cheering happening this week.
Yeah.
And what's even bigger for us is we lost our quarterback for basically an entire quarter, and still managed to keep the lead and do what we need to do because our football team is well coached on both sides of the ball.
Cheers to that.
Cheers indeed.
And you know who won their 16th straight game today over the old Cubbies? The old St. Louis Cardinals, brother. There's something magical brewing in St. Louis right now, brother. There's something magical brewing right now. Here we go, brother. Here we go. Let's go, Redbirds.
Yep. I will say this for Texas. As much as I like the state of Texas. I do not like UT. But I will give UT this. After they got the brakes beat off of them by the Razorbacks, they kind of figured out their quarterback struggles and proceeded to absolutely demolish their next two opponents, which it was nice to see that you guys kind of like figured it out, and now we're going to be a more viable team moving forward to the rest of the season.
70 points, bro.
That's a lot of points. I'm really glad that this week was not the week you chose to do shots for every touchdown.
No, I was doing shots for every
Never
touchdown.
mind. Alex ran it back 2 weeks in a row, and I don't understand how he's alive.
It's a every week deal. Kristen came home and we had to go to like a cocktail party for her friend's birthday. And she was like, "Can you leave the house like this?" I'm like, "Girl, I'll be fine.
Trust."
I was wasted. I was, I mean, we don't do like actual like shots. Yeah. I make the shots with like a burnt orange, like juice. So
yeah. So it's
especially
a little diluted.
When we put up like 48 in the first half, I'm like, all right, maybe the second half we should, it's more like you're taking a shot of like a strong drink than, like an actual,
rather than just straight.
Because we would have been dead. Everyone at my house was.
Well, you put up last week, it was like 56, and I looked at the math on that, and I was like, poof, that's a decent amount of shots. That'll have you feeling good.
I think my mom's here.
Is that Nancy?
Yeah. Hi, Nancy.
Hi, Nancy.
Yeah, Brewers are doing well too. My mom's a big Brewers fan.
Oh, that's good.
But
I'm a Royals fan, obviously. We've done pretty decent recently, but we're still not great. So,
yeah.
Combo, I will not stand this Chiefs slander. No, just kidding. We could talk about the Chiefs. We have problems this year, and the problems are carrying over from last year in the terms of our defense, where our defensive struggles did not go away in the offseason. We put a lot of time and focus and money on the offensive line to not have Patrick scramble as much as he did during the Super Bowl last year, and he kind of is still scrambling around. So there is
Hollywood.
there's work to do on that side. As far as the defense is concerned, I think they're still kind of relying on Patrick and the offense to bail them out of a tough spot, and they're not putting out as much effort as they need to. And it's really aggravating. And we are now 1-2 to start the season. I'm at the bottom of the AFC West, and that has not been the case for the past like 4 or 5 years. And it is tough to see. I do not want to see the Chiefs slide back into the hole that we were in before Andy Reid got to us, where we were just straight garbage. So we'll see. Patrick's still confident. He said a little adversity never hurt, and we'll see if they can fix things for the rest of the week in practice and stuff, and see what next Sunday brings us. I think we played like the Colts or something at like 1 p.m. So I don't know. The Bills did win. They did indeed.
Reagan really wants to say hi to you, Ben.
Hi, Reagan. No, she can't hear me.
Hold on. Say hi to Ben.
Hi.
Hi, Reagan. I missed you. How are you?
Good.
Good. Anything exciting happened in your life recently since the last time we talked?
No.
No?
She got in a fight. That's how she lost that tooth.
What's the other person look like?
They're still in the hospital.
Nice. The tooth fairy remember to bring you your money and stuff?
I got a stingray.
You got a stingray?
3.
3 of them?
Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness.
And now I have.
You got 5 total?
Yeah, because I got a new one, Sparkle.
Sparkle? A stingray's your favorite animal?
Yeah.
Yes.
Nancy Nancy said hi also.
Hi, Fancy Nancy.
Okay, can we do the podcast now?
I'll talk to you again after it's
over. I
over.
just have to hear.
Okay.
And then you can
All
say
right.
hi to Ben. You can talk to Ben more at the end of the podcast, okay?
So disappointed.
Yeah. The Bills did win also.
They did good. Bills over the Zach. It's CHIEFS. Come on, brother. You're better than that. But I for the first 3 weeks, I'll take Bills over the Chiefs right now, as much as it pains me. But yeah, the Bills are looking good.
Those kindergarten fights get pretty heavy. Egalis 36. So you gotta watch your back in the streets on the kindergarten playground.
I'm saying.
Yeah,
Streets are tough out there.
This girl will throw hands. Have you heard that song called "Try Jesus but Don't Try Me"?
No.
It's hilarious, dude. I love it.
I'll look it up.
Try Jesus, but don't try me, 'cause I'll throw hands.
That's hilarious.
I've been saying that a lot lately. Try Jesus, but don't try me.
I'm gonna incorporate that into my everyday lingo now.
You should probably try Jesus, bro, but don't try me.
Oh yeah, here we go. Oh, I don't have a mod in chat. Son of a gun.
Why?
We're getting follow botted. So they've gone from being the hotspot that Twitch has had a problem with, and now they're using a different name. So this is gonna be fun for me while I go and try and ban all of these. This is gonna be super great. All right,
Okay.
y'all talk amongst yourselves while I figure this.
Make
out.
Combo the mod. Can you do that? I don't know. I'm illiterate when it comes to this Twitch stuff.
All right, I'll do
or
it.
Zach or
No,
somebody.
I'll mod
somebody
Combo
can
for now.
figure it
This
out.
is what he's been wanting for a long time, and now it's finally come to.
Combo, now's your time to shine, bro. Don't let us down, okay? Don't let us down, Combo.
Did it work, Combo? Finally. All right, get after it. Ban those fools. Don't click on them. For the love of God, you know what to do. Just go ahead and deal with that. Anyways, so that's super cool. Imagine getting follow botted. LOL. Yeah, so in case you guys don't know, Twitch has had a large problem. I mentioned it a little bit. Actually, thank you, random hate bot, for my transition. Twitch has had a big problem recently with these I don't know, I guess individuals who have decided that they would like to create these bot accounts that just their sole purpose is to come into a stream, gather as much information as they can, and then unfollow. And then what they do with that information is raid a channel, which you can do on Twitch, is where you take, if we were streaming like this, and when we're done, we send a raid to another Twitch channel, which basically takes all of you that are here listening and moves you to that stream, which normally is a good thing, networking and such.
Yeah.
But what they're doing is they're abusing this, and when they raid into a channel, like it could be ours when we're live, all those bots that just followed will just start spamming basically hateful, racist, bigoted remarks in the chat. And the problem with that is the fact that us as the streamer will get in trouble for it because we're so-called, quote, allowing it, but they come in so hard and fast with it that we don't have a chance to clear the chat or anything like that, so that we don't allow it. And then when Twitch goes back, or whatever, then somebody, one of those bots will obviously report it to Twitch, and then Twitch will come in and be like, oh my God, look at this, these people suck. And then we get our channel banned or suspended for however long. So yeah, that's super fun. Great combo. Sounds good. I think what you can do is in mod view, go through and look at all the recent follows. There should be an activity feed, and just type /ban and start banning all of those accounts that just followed.
And while we're on the topic, we do not condone hateful or racist speech on this channel. If you're a racist, hateful piece of shit, you're not welcome. So you can go ahead and unfollow us because we don't want you here. So that's my comment.
Not in the slightest.
From us, because fuck you if you're a racist.
Pretty much. So continuing on this topic, I think that Twitch is now in a lawsuit with the people that created the original bot thing, which was the Haas 312 bot. So I think they're in the throes of a lawsuit by suing them for whatever they're doing. I need to look more into it to figure out what's going on with as far as the lawsuit side of things. But the only thing I was worried about for this and for my other stream is just not having that happen. So, but Nancy's got it. Love all. All right. If you can't see him, Combo, I think you might not be able to see him because I just gave you mod. I'm just gonna sit here and I'll ban the rest of them real quick. And you just be ready to ban the new ones if any new ones come in.
As we're on that topic as well, I know you haven't seen Into the Storm, the whole QAnon documentary.
Yeah.
But you and everybody else that hasn't seen it, it's on HBO. You need to go watch it because
give me your HBO login and I'll go watch it.
I'll give it to you. It's amazing. Like, it really gives a great look into how, in particular, the whole January 6th thing happened.
Uh-huh.
And you have people in Congress right now, Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Yeah, we talked about her a little bit. She's fucking psychotic.
A QAnon. I when we talked about her before, I think that was the one I was like super drunk for also. I was pissed at myself listening back to it because it was the perfect opportunity to talk about how Looney Tune she is. Mm-hmm. But she is like a QAnon believer.
Really? For those of us, like, real quick, for those of us that don't know what QAnon is, because I'm not super versed up in it, what exactly is QAnon? And I know if I watch the documentary, it'll explain it, but just give us like the cliff notes of it.
So it started off on the website 4chan, right? To where there was this person who was signing off as Q. Uh-huh. So they had Q level clearance and supposedly knew details and things about Washington, D.C. politics that only someone who's like a right-hand man to the president, who is then Trump, someone with Q level clearance, which Q level clearance is a real thing. That's like as high as you get.
It's above top, like, because for us military wise, I think it just stops at like top secret.
Correct. So this person started as just signing off as Q with like these Q drops, they call them. So this is basically how QAnon all got started. And then 4chan got into some issues, and then he switched over to 8chan, which this is where you get into the whole documentary of like who was actually Q, right? but basically created this kind of like mob mentality that started QAnon by signing off and leaving all these Q drops. And this person was basically like putting together a giant puzzle of like how to figure out who he or she was and like how to like crack the code of what's going on in Washington, D.C. and how corrupt it is, blah, blah, blah. So then what do they call it? The community. The community basically started to where people were trying to figure out who Q was, but at the same time, he was also bolstering Donald Trump's platform like times a million. So then you have people like Steve Bannon going on camera and saying, where we go one, we go all, which is like the community's like tagline, where we go one, we go all. And you even hear Trump in a few, or like I don't know if he ever says it, but do you remember the rally he had where someone was holding up a baby and he's like, look at that baby. That's a beautiful baby. And the baby is wearing like a QAnon t-shirt.
What the fuck?
Like, yeah. So you have all these little like things, all these little, like, again, no one on that level, Steve Bannon, who's the general,
the one that told China that we were going to warn him if something, he was going to warn him if something happened.
What's his name?
He's like the chief of staff or something.
Yeah, I can't think of his name right now. Anyway, there's like these high level political figures who never come out and just outright say like, hey, we're supporting you, but they're leaving all these hints along the way and like saying where we go one, we go all, and referencing like a baby in a QAnon t-shirt, like to hint to the fact of like, we know what you're doing and we appreciate you. And this whole like storm was created.
Was it General Mark Milley?
General Flynn. Michael Flynn. Yes, Michael Flynn. There's all these like people who, again, Congress people who believe in the QAnon shit, which is totally insane to me that can actually happen.
Right.
But it created this whole storm that basically led to the riot on Capitol Hill, January 6th. Wow. Like, you see, I had no idea that this was all happening. Like, if you would have asked me January 4th or 5th, I'd have been like, yeah, there's some rumblings that something's going to happen, like whatever. But you talk to these Q-verse people, this community, and I'm surprised it didn't go worse than what it did. I'm surprised it didn't result in full blown like civil unrest, like civil war type shit.
What up, Trev?
Wild. It's wild. Go watch it. Yeah. I can't speak highly enough about it. I got through it. I think it's 7 episodes. I got through it in 2 nights, and I'm not like a big binger. I like to kind of stag it out, but I was hooked, dude.
All right. Send me your login and I'll go watch it. Cause that sounds interesting as hell.
Yeah. Pretty wild.
Still keeping in that vein of talking about the Capitol Hill stuff. What do we talk about other than sports? What I missed? Well, we covered sports like right at the beginning, but we were talking a little bit. We talked a little bit about the hate rage stuff that Twitch is dealing with right now, Trev, and then we kind of moved into this QAnon stuff. So I don't know how much you know about QAnon, but there's a documentary if you've got HBO Max. What's it called?
Into the Storm, I'm pretty sure is the name of it.
Into the Storm. It's a limited series on HBO Max about the QAnon stuff and what all it is.
And Rogan just had the documentary, the guy who created the documentary, I can't think of his name right now either. Joe Rogan just had him on for an interview, and that's super interesting as well.
Gotcha.
You can go listen to that. And he kind of gives some like behind the scenes stuff. And I would, let me preface this. I would watch the documentary first and then go listen to the Joe Rogan interview, because it's pretty clear, I think, to most people who Q is.
Yeah.
And he was basically just like a troll. Like, it's wild. Like,
just a troll. Wow.
You want to talk about a meme that becoming
too far.
A movement?
Yeah.
Like, it's wild what you can do on the internet. And like, what you can do to incite like a fucking riot on Capitol Hill.
Yeah.
It's nuts to me. And it's just crazy.
Yeah, and keeping with the Capitol Hill stuff, I've seen some stuff a little bit recently that people are like, dude, the Capitol Hill police weren't trying to stop it. They like opened the doors for the people and stuff.
Well,
and so like that even takes it into like a deeper like whole conspiracy.
They didn't open the doors. There is video of the Capitol Hill police like moving gates to like let people in. And that's one thing that if you're outside looking in, you're like, what the fuck, dude? Like, why are the police, why is Capitol Hill police moving gates so more people can get in easier?
Yeah.
It's wild. And apparently they had tips that this was all going to happen. Like the whole community knew that this was going to be this big day, but somehow Capitol Police didn't have the appropriate resources to stop all of this.
And the NSA is not monitoring it. And like, are they just going to let it happen? Like, what the hell?
My brother Mac and I have gone down some rabbit holes recently. Not necessarily even rabbit holes. Again, you guys know my thoughts on conspiracy theories.
Like thought projects, basically.
Yeah, I think they're really fun to think about, and I think some of them have legitimate merit, but you can't necessarily draw conclusions without thinking about it, like connecting dots. Perfect example, like we said from the fucking beginning about coronavirus, like pretty weird that the Wuhan Institute of Viral Research is the same city where the coronavirus came from. And they just so happen to be testing COVID strains in the Wuhan Research Center doing gain of function research, which you can have your thoughts on gain of function. Not a big fan myself.
Right. You
can make the case. I get it. But from the beginning, it was like, well, this virus came from this city, and it's the same city that has a research center, gain of function research center, that has been cited multiple times in the past for not taking appropriate steps to be sanitary and be doing it correctly. And then a couple of people in the Wuhan facility like end up getting sick, and like one of their spouses actually dies. And the next thing you know,
it's out.
People are getting on planes and going across the country. And next thing you know, coronavirus is like a huge deal, but you couldn't talk about that for a long time.
Yeah.
In fact, YouTube or Facebook would ban you.
Remove your video.
For violating community guidelines by just saying it. And now we're to the point where it's like, yeah, no, that's probably where it came from.
Right.
Like you can't get the answers to these questions if you don't ask the question. And not all of them are going to end up in exactly what happened or exactly how the whole scene played out. But you gotta be willing to open your mind to ask the questions and theorize, how all this shit played out.
Right.
And it's pretty damn strange, like how the whole January 6th thing happened. It obviously would have really benefited like a Democratic platform to be like, see, this is what happens if Trump gets in office. Like 2024, we can't have this again, because if he gets in office again, this is going to happen all over again. Like, again, I'm not saying that's what happened or that's why they moved the gates, but if you think about it, it's kind of like, well, I can kind of draw
the
some
pieces are kind of falling together,
lines to these points. It's also pretty damn coincidental that coronavirus happened when it did. And a lot of pollists think that COVID and Trump's handling of COVID was what basically led to him not getting reelected.
Yeah.
It's like, it's pretty damn convenient.
It's really convenient that it came about. Yeah. What's up, Abby? I should have heard you on the way to the Mayday concert. The whole car was conspiracies. What? Imagine Mayday Parade having a concert literally the fucking weekend after I was in Missouri. Like, I'm sad.
I know, dude.
Like, it literally happened, and then like I was there, and then it was like I didn't know the concert was happening. He was like talking about it. He's like, "Oh, next week I'm gonna be back going to the Mayday concert," and I was like, "Dude, what the? I'm pissed."
Mayday opened by Microwave.
Yeah, I know. I would have loved to go to that.
Shout out to Microwave. My best buddy Tito is the drummer. Nate is the lead singer. We got to hang out with them. They're such good fucking people, dude.
Yeah.
It felt it filled my soul up so much to be at a live music venue listening to some of my favorite bands. You had to get a COVID rapid test or be vaccinated. I chose to get a rapid test. That way I could give the band members hugs and, and like they could feel safe knowing that like, hey, we can hug each other and you're not going to take this into the next city. If you get COVID, that's on you, but it didn't come from me.
Yeah.
Dude, it felt so electric to be at a rock show, giving people hugs.
I was sad about it because Hugo
fantastic.
was sending Snapchats and I had FOMO so bad watching his Snapchats. It sucked.
Yeah.
Abby also said, just watch The Simpsons. I'll tell you about anything you want to know before you even know it existed. Bro, facts. I'm still convinced that Matt Goring's a time traveler or something.
Don't even get me started on that rabbit hole.
Or he has an oracle that tells him things. I don't know, man.
No, I watched I have a lot of time to kill in Des Moines after work because I literally just go back to my condo and like hang out. And I watched a documentary on Nikolai Tesla.
Oh, yeah.
And some of the crazy ideas that he had. And we went down that rabbit hole of the whole book about like that kid named Barron.
Yeah, I have heard that whole thing. It's so wild, dude. It's such a wild like conspiracy thing that people really run with.
Again, if you put me in a corner and said, okay, you have to tell the truth. Do you think this is a real story? And like put a gun to my head, I'd be like, no, I don't think there's enough evidence there to even suggest it's real. But it is super fun to think about.
Oh yeah, that's a really fun like thought experiment to go down.
Dude, I love it. Like that's largely why I do a podcast.
I think I saw that first thing pop up on like Facebook and I was like, what the hell is this? And I literally clicked through all the pictures and I'm like, as I went through, I was like, yo, my freaking brain, dude, what is happening right now?
I also love my mom telling my sister, Abby, give the Simpsons a rest.
Get her, Nancy. Before Combo freaking loses his mind anymore, we'll talk about Trudeau. So what happened in Canada is...
Oh, handsome Justin.
Yeah, so what happened in Canada, and Combo, you can fill me in. I just took a look at the Cliff Notes versions, basically, and all my information right now, unfortunately, is coming off of CNN because that was the most, like, succinct and comprehensive thing I could find. I know,
wow.
Right? Crazy. But from what I can gather, Trudeau called this is what they call a snap election in Canada. He was 2 years into whatever this term, and he did not have a majority government. So in Canada, it's the same thing as here. Like he's the leader. His party is leading Canada, but their parliament was majority opposite party. So he's of the Liberal Party of Canada. Their parliament is majority Conservative Party of Canada. So he called a snap election because he believed that his handling of the pandemic and everything he did for the pandemic and that kind of stuff in Canada would tip the scales in Parliament to now where he would have a majority party or a majority government where his party would be in charge, and then also Parliament would be of the same party, so that he feels like things could get done. So he called the snap election. Yes, keep in mind there's multiple parties in Canada. So Canada has the Liberal Party, the Conservative Party. They also have one called PPC, which is the People's Party of Canada, which sounds very sus and very close to communism. They have, I think, what's called the Green Party and something else called it was NDR, and I didn't get what NDR stood for. PPC is the Trump faction. Imagine. Sick. So not communism.
Hey, nationwide, bro. Community nationwide, bro.
Continent-wide.
In fact, two of the people in the documentary are actually Canadians.
Wow.
Fun fact of that whole Into the Storm
gotcha.
community thing.
NDP is the socialist faction. Gotcha. Okay, but anyway, so there's 5 political parties. So Justin Trudeau called the snap election thing. Oh God, the bots are going ham. Combo, get on it. So he called the snap election to try and swing the party or the government in his favor. Many Canadians across the country were like, there is no reason to do this. Why are we calling a snap election? Yada, yada, yada. Long and short of it is, it didn't turn out how he wanted it to. And basically everything stayed the same. Essentially, that's what I gathered from it. And Combo, when Combo's done banning these bots, he can make anything else more
So
clear.
what was the election on? Who were they voting for?
They were voting for Trudeau again, his counterpart in the Conservative Party, and then the other three parties that were up for voting as well.
So he was getting reelected.
It's essentially it turned out to a re-election halfway through his term, I think. I'm not like super well versed in like term limits and stuff for Canadian presidents.
Yeah, and just so everybody knows, I'm clueless. I have done zero research about this. I know old handsome Justin is always. What was that? He gave that speech using like they them. It was so ridiculous, dude. Yeah. Like I'm all for if you choose your pronouns, whatever. If you're born a she and you want to be called a he, cool. Like let me know what I can do. But I'll have to find it. I don't even know exactly. It was so wild, dude.
Yeah. Combo's telling me right now that all that happened was Trudeau's political party gained 2 seats in Parliament, so it didn't even work out well for him. They just gained 2 seats. And he also told me there's no term limit in Canada, so Justin Trudeau could be the prime minister for Canada for as long as he wanted to, because there's no term limits, but a term is 4 years. So he was halfway through this term of his and decided he wanted to try and swing the government more to be favorable towards his political party. So I guess he could get things, how it is here, same type of deal. You want a majority in Congress so that when you want to do something as president, Congress backs it. So it's basically what he tried to do, but it didn't work out for him. His opponents basically said that he did it just mainly for his own political ambitions and wasn't really doing it for the good of Canada or anything like that, which, I mean, that's every politician. They're in it for themselves for the most part. But yeah, so that's pretty much what he did. He basically just called this to try and swing things more in his favor, and it didn't work out. So now he kind of looks like a buffoon, and I saw that too. It was a waste of 600 million Canadian dollars. So it said in fact Canadians sent him back with another minority at the cost of 600 million Canadian dollars and it even caused deeper divisions in the country. So he did more harm than he did good in trying to swing the government more in his favor. And I was talking, it was like 36 days. Like you only get like 36 days to campaign in Canada, so it was like super quick. So yeah, it's that's what Canada's got popping for him right now is that kind of vibe where the prime minister is more concerned about his own political ambitions and capitalizing on what he thinks was what he did good for the country. And it turns out he was wrong.
God, I really wish I could find. Oh, okay, here it is. Over viral. She session. Oh, that's what it was.
That doesn't sound good.
Yeah, here, I'm going to send you this real quick, and then you can...
Emailing it?
Yeah, I'm going to email it to you.
Okay.
Because it's pretty comical, honestly. Again, we are not here to slam the transgender LGBTQI community, but this is just obviously like pandering towards a specific audience, and it's insane, dude. Like
Joe Rogan slams Justin Trudeau over his viral she session. That's really hard.
Hey, man. Combo, we're not two clueless clowns. Come on, bro.
Everybody has seen that picture, Combo. It went around the United States for a little while on the news networks.
Yeah,
like, look at Justin Trudeau being racist.
And again, you shouldn't do blackface right now. This is one of the few times ever. Well, this is one of the few times you'll find me sticking up for Justin Trudeau. Like, it wasn't a big thing back then. It wasn't like viewed as being a racist if you colored your face black. Like, I understand why there's outrage. I get it. You shouldn't do it, but at the time it wasn't like blackface wasn't even a term, like it wasn't even a thing yet. So slam Justin Trudeau now for doing blackface back then. You can do it. I don't like the fucking guy, you know.
I mean, I'm still gonna slam him for it, because if you have any sort of like sensibilities and morals and anything like that, then you would look at it and go, me as a white person should probably not paint my face black to try and emulate somebody else.
I get it.
Yeah. Anyway, so this is saying. Joe Rogan and Megan Murphy was the guest on this one, talking about how Trudeau used some strange language during a speech. When was this? Let me look at the date on this. Where's the date? It's at the bottom, probably. It was 2021. How recent was this?
This wasn't that long ago.
All right, so it's pretty recent. But anyway, Megan Murphy is a Canadian-born writer and journalist, and she's a harsh critic of the third wave of feminism, censorship, and gender identity legislation in Canada.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
So she was saying, Rogan brings up the subject of Canada by mentioning that Canada's lockdowns are fucking preposterous, and then segues right into Trudeau using different pronouns to describe recession and the recovery. Rogan then, instructs his producer, Jamie, to go to Jordan Peterson's Twitter page to pull up.
Pull that up, Jamie.
Pull that up, Jamie. So, you know what? I'm just going to pull the clip up, and we'll just watch this real fast.
That's a good idea.
Rather than me trying to read this whole friggin' transcript of what actually happened.
As lockdowns are fucking preposterous. And by the way, did you see Trudeau yesterday on TV using different pronouns to describe the recession and the recovery?
The she session?
Yeah. Did you see that?
I didn't actually watch it, but I did.
Jordan Peterson's Instagram or his Twitter page, he retweeted it and said that this cannot be shared enough. Like, people need to understand how ridiculous this person is. But
he's the worst.
What is he doing, though? Why would he do that? Like, what's the motivation to do that? He's just making up for all the times he wore brown face?
Yeah.
What is...
I don't know. Bit, right? I mean, a few times. That's the thing I care about least in terms of Trudeau.
Yeah. Here, let's hear this. Take it from the beginning, because it's...
It is exactly the example of the kinds of things you need to do to counter the she session and turn it into a she-covery. Fact is, the Conservatives don't talk about that in their lengthy platform. It is...
What?
Like, is it that the recession is sexist, so he's called... What the fuck is a she-session? Like,
what does that mean?
I don't know.
She-session and she-covery?
I think he's probably... I'm assuming...
He's such a try-hard.
He's such a loser. He's trying to say, like...
Videoception, Abby.
Is he trying to say that women suffered more during COVID financially?
He's not saying shit. He's just making up words.
I should stop giving him so much credit to think that he's actually...
What the fuck? what the fuck was that?
I couldn't hear the Joe Rogan clip, so you'll have to remind me exactly.
He was basically just like, what the fuck did he say? And he's like, is he saying that or Megan was like, is he saying that the recession was sexist? And then Joe Rogan was like, he's not saying anything. And she was like, yeah, that's true. I'm probably giving him more credit than he actually deserves. But like, what the fuck, dude? Like, what was that? That's so stupid. That man is that dude's an idiot. Trev, I'm gonna go back to your comment. You said in America it was the right time for that photo to drop to down him, 100%. But no matter the year, that shouldn't be happening. You were exactly right.
Trudeau should have lost the she-election. Combo, great work, bro. Great work.
Got him.
Great work. I appreciate
That's
you.
hilarious, Nancy. Yeah, making up words for sure. There was no reason for him to call it, unless he was just like, why would he call it he called it a she session, and then he's like, we need to take this from a C session, which is super hard to say. Say that one 5 times fast.
So wild.
And then he said, turn it into a she recovery, or like a she covery. Like, what, bro? Like, why it's a recession. It doesn't have a gender. It's just a fucking thing. Like, what the hell, dude? I don't know. Like, yeah, probably it was a very poor attempt at pandering to a community that probably could give a fuck less about you trying to pander to them in that regard. C-section, Nancy. Yeah, maybe that's what he meant, Nancy. A C-section. We need to recover. We need a recovery after a C-section. The fucking C-section.
I mean, she-section. I mean, wait.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
Again?
I'm a
What's
fucking moron. Like,
yeah, get Joe Biden to talk about she sessions, and
I don't think Biden's mouth moves well enough for him to even say anything about that.
They rub on my legs. They feel the hair on my legs.
It's the worst clip of him ever. It's so disturbing. I hate it so much.
I didn't know that he had an aneurysm. I just learned this like within the last week.
Recently?
No, it's been Google search, or don't do Google, do DuckDuckGo. DuckDuckGo, Joe Biden aneurysm brain surgery. He's had a major aneurysm and had brain surgery, and it all makes sense now. Like, the dude has had his brain operated on. Like, yeah, no wonder he's not in great shape. Like, he had an aneurysm and they had to operate on his brain. And
it was back in 1988.
Yeah, and doctors were like, he made a recovery that's like, unheard of. He's doing better than any person that's ever had this operation before.
Apparently, the doctors gave him a 35 to 50. He had a better chance of living. The surgeon told Biden he had a better chance of living. That it was a chance in the 35 to 50% range of him actually living back when he had the aneurysm.
Correct. Yes.
What the fuck, dude? No wonder he hasn't done anything since the friggin' 80s. His brain got fucking scrambled.
I know. I feel bad for the guy, honestly, because imagine being the leader of the free world and like not being able to think clearly.
Yeah, because somebody would just scramble your brains. Basically.
He's on record very recently saying I'm not supposed to answer questions, but then he takes a couple questions. Yeah, I'm not making this shit up, dude. Like, look it up. He is not well. And I don't say that because, like, obviously I'm not a Trump fan, like, whatever. You say whatever you want about American politics. I'm just talking about human to human. The dude is not well.
No.
He needs a break, dude.
Yeah, so he's had that and then been in politics since then, which is stressful enough, and is now the president of the country, which is even more stressful. Like, his brain is melting out of his ears.
And by the way, have you heard that that clip of
combo? Pump the brakes on that one. There's no shot.
No. Kamala is not a better option.
I put her right up there with fucking the witch Hillary Clinton. I don't. They're. Mm-mm.
Anyway, yeah. What was I gonna say? Shit, I can't rember. Human to human.
She has a stable mind for fucking everyone over and being not a nice lady.
Okay, I'll give you this. If having a stable mind was the one qualification of being the leader of the free world, yeah, I'd say, okay, well, yeah, she has a stable mind.
Yeah.
But there are 1,000 different candidates that would be better suited to run this country.
Oh, 1,000%.
And it has nothing to do with her being a female. It has nothing to do with her being a person of color. Give me Tulsi Gabbard.
Yes.
I disagree with Tulsi Gabbard on a lot of different issues. But the one thing that I have for Tulsi Gabbard is a shitload of respect.
Yeah.
And policy or not, agreeing with policy or not, I would take Tulsi Gabbard and I would say, you know what? I trust that lady to run our fucking country and to run it right and to do what she thinks in her heart is best for our country.
Right, which is not doing what Kamala Harris did and fucking marginalized minorities and put them in jail for shit they didn't do and keep people on death row even when the evidence was clear and concise that person didn't do anything wrong.
Oh, you mean specifically withholding evidence to keep someone on death row just so she didn't have to lose a major crime case as the district attorney, or signing a bill so that if your kids don't go to school, you're liable to go to jail when you have single mothers working 3 jobs who don't know where their sons are and have joined a gang and are not going to school anymore. Mm-hmm. And so now the state's going to come to you and say, well, now you have to go to jail because your son's not going to school anymore.
Yep.
Wait a minute, fuck you.
Yeah.
No, that's not fair.
Nah.
Don't do that.
The slightest. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nancy, so I'm the queen. I think yes, Nancy, you're a queen. Nancy for prez.
Nancy for prez. I'm here for it.
Combo wanted me to look up the Bloc Québécois, I guess. I don't know. My French is terrible. Basically, they're a federal political party that is devoted to Quebec nationalism and the promotion of Quebec sovereignty, i.e., making Quebec not a part of Canada, its own like country. It's full of French Canadians and they're psychopaths.
Oh, I've been there. I know.
That's basically what that's saying. I don't know what else you want me to say about that combo other than they're lunatics.
Also, I do want to say a stage is getting set right now for 2024 because you're going to have Donald Trump. He's going to be back.
100%.
There was just I
it
can't
actually
remember,
gets votes. Well, the only votes they're getting is from the French Canadians combo.
I can't remember how this guy has relation to Trump, but he's in one of Trump's like inner circles.
Okay.
And he was on a hot mic and he didn't know he was being recorded basically. But someone asked him, is Trump going to run in 2024 again? And the guy was like, well, he's not ready to make that announcement, and then the guy was like, well, is he going to do it? And he basically said and I'm probably butchering this.
We'll call it paraphrasing.
Search it. Yeah, I'm paraphrasing. He basically said, well, he's not ready to announce it yet.
Which is basically saying that he's probably going to
credence to the idea that he's going to run again in 2024. So in 2024, most likely you're going to have Trump v. Biden again.
Run it back.
And here's why I'm most excited about it is because you're going to have Biden, who the whole world, well, not the whole world, 52% of the world, not the world, the United States voted for Biden, right? Because they were voting against Trump.
Yeah.
No one voted for Biden.
No, they voted against
Trump.
And they were too dumb to realize that they could have voted for third party.
Now you're going to have these two squaring off again, and you're going to have 4 years of Biden doing nothing, like fucking nothing.
What are we at? It's almost October. We are 10 months into his presidency, and not one thing's changed.
Correct. So you're going to have him again, and then you're going to have Trump, which we've seen the Trump show. Yep. Nobody loves the Trump show.
You do not want to see.
I don't care if you're a Republican. You don't love the Trump show. No. The Trump show is a fucking disaster. Nobody wants that again.
No one wanted a sequel for that one.
So you want to talk about the perfect.
It's a perfect storm. Yeah.
The perfect storm, the perfect event for a magical, maybe Spike Cohen. I don't know. Third party rising. Spike Cohen has, how many followers does that guy have on Twitter?
I don't know. He has a good following.
Let me look real quick.
While you look that, I'm gonna look at fucking chat real fast. What up? Oh, hi Kristen. Kamala v. Trump is my bet. Yeah, maybe if Biden fucking dies in office, then yeah, probably. Or not in office, or shortly afterwards. Combo said, no, Alex, you're wrong. Twitter users voted for Biden. Nobody cares what Twitter users think.
Yeah, they voted for Biden because they didn't want to vote for Trump. Exactly. Because if you vote for Trump, you're a racist.
Yeah. Nancy said nothing ever changes. See, the crazy thing about that, Nancy, is this is why Alex and I do this podcast. We are trying to affect some kind of change with the small amount of people that are here. So
my dad and I were in the garage the other day, and they were trying to figure out my sister's like return taxes and everything.
Yeah.
And her stimulus check had been deducted from her taxes. So instead of her getting, I'm making up numbers, $5,000, she got $2,000 because, and then listed below was return taxes. And my dad was like, well, they made such a big deal out of the stimulus. So they were basically just borrowing from the future.
Yes.
And I'm like, welcome to the American government. Hey, you know, take a seat, pop some popcorn. This is why we fucking do this, because nothing is the way that it's advertised.
Yeah.
Nothing is ever the way that it's advertised. You love that stimulus check. Guess what? Now you're getting money. $2,000 less in your return taxes. It was your money to begin with. They took your
money. They gave you your money back before you gave it to them.
They gave you an advancement on your tax return.
It's like when you need an advance on your paycheck because you're running it tight.
Correct.
That's what they gave you.
You took a draw on your return taxes. And by the way, you couldn't say, hey, no, you know what? Actually, I'm doing fine.
I don't want it.
Hold on to it. Just give it to me at the end of the year. They said, we care about you so much. Here's your return taxes 6 months early. And by the way, you're not going to see it at the end of the year. But it was never advertised like that.
No, of course not.
Never fucking. Why would they advertise it?
No, because then everybody would be like, no, right? Don't do that. No, thank you. But yeah. No, Nancy said 60 years, like never changes. Yeah, I'll give it to you, Nancy, on that. Like it's been the same freaking dog and pony show, same circus for a long time. Hopefully this time something will change. And
Spike Cohen has 81,000 followers on Twitter.
There you go.
Which makes me happy, which you do.
I know. Sorry. I know that Vine, Abby. I want my fucking money. Poosh, bum. Anyway, sorry.
You do need a social media following, which is one of the things that I think is most fucked up about banning Trump on Twitter and Facebook and everything. I get that he's not a good dude.
Yeah.
Well, right. But at the same time, it's almost a community platform to where if you want to win the presidency, you need that platform.
Yeah, well, I know that banning him, I think also, yes, they banned him, but I think that also just added fuel to the fire for all those little fucking cultists.
So what I was saying, I'll go back like 4 steps now. You're going to have Biden and you're going to have Trump squaring off again in 2024. My prediction, I hope I'm wrong, but I think that we will be able to reference this podcast in 2024 and say, yep, it was accurate.
Bookmark it on YouTube when this one goes live, chat, and come back to this.
And I hope to God that there's a third party, i.e. Spike Cohen, whoever it is.
Libertarian, whatever, doesn't matter.
Whoever it is that starts to rise up and says, we are done with this bullshit.
Yeah.
We've had enough, dude. We've listened to you and we've listened to you. And both of you are full of shit and no one is delivering on their promises. So it's time to give a shot to someone else to actually do what's in the best interest of the American people. And I truly think that's the Libertarian Party right now.
I'm in the same boat. You and me are paddling that same canoe upstream against the stream of same.
Please do not vote Democrat or Republican in the next election. Please, unless there's some emergence of a shining star that's actually going to fulfill their promises to the American people. I don't care if it's Democrat, Republican, Green Party, Libertarian Party, whatever. I don't fucking care. Someone just come to the forefront and do what they say they're going to do and make our world better.
Yeah. Like, I'm not going to, like...
Please.
Yeah, I'm not going to say, it's like, don't vote for whoever, but, like, everything that I preach all the time is vote for the person that you think is the best fit. Not just because you don't want to see Trump in office again, or because you don't want to see Biden in office again, or you don't want to see Kamala in office. Just vote for the person that you think is the best fit. And if I'm going to say this, and you guys can crucify me later, if unfortunately you think that the best fit is one of the other aforementioned 3 people, that's your own business. I'm not going to berate you for it. I'll be a little sad, but we'll have an adult discussion about it, and we can talk about it, and you can present your points, and I'll present mine, and then at the end of the day, we'll grab a beer or something. I don't care.
Exactly.
But yeah.
I took that screen. I sent you that screenshot on Snapchat of the amount of people that are behind on their rent. It was a couple weeks ago, and I said I wanted to talk about it, but then Ham was coming on.
If you can find it, send it again.
I'll send it to you again right now.
Okay.
Can I send it to you in a snap, or do you need an email?
I mean, if you want me to put it on screen, then you're gonna have to do it.
Okay, I'll hold on one second.
Okay, while you do that, Trev said it's hard to actually believe a promise on that massive a scale, but he gets what you're saying, which is true. Like and that's the unfortunate thing about politics in America is we've listened to politicians for basically our entire lives make promises every election year, every campaign. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. And then nothing happens. So we have a track record of being lied to and promises not kept. So I agree with you, Trev. It's hard to believe. It's hard to believe. But Alex and I have talked to Spike twice on this podcast, and we both follow him on Twitter. He's one of the few that I believe, will actually capitalize on the things that he wants to do if he runs for president, which he said in the last podcast, he's not sure if he's going to run for president or not. His main goal is just to fulfill whatever need he can in whatever capacity he can to facilitate, a change.
Which is what you want a politician to do, right? Yeah. Like that's what you want out of a politician, someone that sticks their neck out there for the people that they are representing and say, hey, look, I'm not doing this for my own personal gain. I'm not doing this for power or political gain or for money. I'm doing this to represent the people that have elected me into this space so that I can best serve them the best way that I can. And we have not had that in my entire life.
Decades.
I'm 32 years old. 32, right? Yeah, I'm 32 years old. And I've never seen a president that I can remember and look back on and be like, that guy had our best interest. That girl had our best interest.
Yeah.
It's non-existent. And it's silly, dude. It's become a fucking monetarily based system to where
it's a corporation now at this point.
The highest bidder gets done what they want to get done.
Yeah. Godey said the shitty thing is anytime a third party rises, one of the big two take over. Happened with the Populist Party on the third party to be the Libertarian, and he or she.
I'm 31.
Don't
Sorry,
crucify
Mom.
me, Godey. To be the Libertarian, because you voted for them in the previous two elections. Yeah, like I'd love to see it, and what I would hate to see is the Libertarians come. Get it, and then they get taken over by something else, and it changes. That would be shitty. The thing that the shining, like to Trev's point, he said they have to show us what they want to do for us before any election starts. The thing with Spike is, and Alex and I are friggin', it's Adam. Oh, okay, gotcha. The thing I like about Spike, and Alex and I are kind of fanboys for Spike a little bit, and I'm not ashamed to admit it. He does do that because before he came into our podcast the second time, he was very busy fighting against imminent domain?
Eminent domain. He just spoke. I just saw on his Twitter page, he just spoke to that council in Kentucky about eminent domain, where basically the government wants to take 30 homes and is going to reclaim these 30 homes and not pay the dwellers any amount of money. Mm-hmm. They're just going to take them to create a parking lot and a green space and a farmer's market. That's what they're going to do. So imagine the government shows up at your door tomorrow and says, hey, your house and the 29 surrounding houses, we're taking it. And by the way, we're not going to give you any money for it. We're just taking it. and we're going to create a parking lot and a green space and a farmer's market within this area. So you have to find somewhere else to live.
Which is still wrong, because if I remember from my AP American like politics class, they can claim eminent domain, but they have to compensate the people that they're taking from. Because you can't just kick somebody out of their house and be like, sorry, bro. Like, so the government at this point has forgotten their own fucking rules from the Constitution and been like, we're just gonna do this because we're the government, and people are like, no. And then you have people like Spike Cohen that know the rules and the law and are like, no, you're not doing this because you cannot.
So to give full context, also, this is a low income housing market. So these houses aren't necessarily like the poster card of the city.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that doesn't fucking
the government's
matter.
basically trying to gentrify that area.
Exactly. What they're saying is a parking lot and a green space and a farmer's market is going to be more pretty than your house. So we're going to take it from you. We're not going to compensate you financially whatsoever. You have to find somewhere else to live. We're taking your land, and this is what it is.
Yeah, no, that's not. You can't do that.
It's fucking insane, dude.
And somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but I am like 95% certain I'm not. Like, it's illegal because they have to compensate you. You can't just walk into somebody's fucking house or their property and be like, this is ours now. Like, even when the states and whoever like run a highway through a fucking farmer's field, they compensated them back during that time, be like, hey, we're running an interstate, and the farmers are like, well, no, and they were like, but we're gonna pay you this amount of money for this land, either side, and they're like, all right, well, now it's fine because I'm getting paid for it.
I should clarify that I'm not 100% certain that there's no sort of financial compensation. I'm not 100% certain on that. They might be giving them some sort of financial compensation, but from what I understand, it's basically, this land is ours now. You have to find somewhere else, and we're creating a parking lot, a green space, and a farmer's market where your house once was. That's what I understand it to be.
Yeah. Adam, what do you mean they do? Oh, they do have, that they do have to compensate them. Yeah, that's what I thought. Like, I'm pretty sure because I was like super into politics and stuff in high school. That's why I took that class.
There might be some sort of financial compensation, but still and I feel like I'm preaching to the choir here. I don't think anybody here is like, oh yeah,
fuck them, take it.
Take it, yeah. But imagine a government official coming and saying a parking lot is more valuable to us
than
your home,
and you're just going to have to go find somewhere else to live.
That's so fucking demoralizing.
Oh, yeah.
Like that. How? That's where you build your memories, like your family. Like, I don't live in a big fancy house, but this house has a lot of emotion attached to my development, to me becoming an adult. Like, it's the first house that I've owned, there's nothing special about my house necessarily.
Rather than the memories.
If you came to me and said a parking lot is more worthy of being here than your home, I'd say, fuck you.
Dude, I'd be like,
come and get it.
Load shotgun with malicious intent.
Get it.
Like,
exactly. You want to come and get it? Good luck.
Yeah.
Come and get it. Because this is my fucking house. Like, I pay to be here. I've paid a lot of money to be here. I own this. Like, it doesn't matter if it's a box or it's a $2 million home. Like, that is yours.
Yeah.
No one should be able to say that what I think is more valuable to be there is more valuable than your home.
Right.
That's insane.
Adam said that it's supposed to be fair market value, which, I mean, fair market value nowadays isn't. It's not great. Well, I wouldn't say it's not great. It's definitely a seller's market. It's not a buyer's market. Trev said in Tennessee, you had a friend who lived on the main highway where there's now a gas station in Kroger's, but they were compensated for it. Okay. Eminent domain, yeah. FMV is shit. What is, what? FMV? I'm drawing a blank. Fair market value. Why, I literally just said it. My brain just went. Thanks, Trev. God. Sometimes I'm a dumbass. Yeah, fair market value is BS. But anyway, so like that's one of those things that that Spike is fighting against right now, and would honestly like that's not going to be one of the things that if he became president or the Libertarian Party became president, that's not one of those things that they would do. They're not going to go in eminent domain shit for like basically no reason or just to gentrify an area.
That's one of the few times that the national government should be able to step in on the state side and say, hey, nah, you can't do this. The national government, the way that it's set up under the Constitution, in my eyes, should be to where, hey, the states have the right to decide what they think is fair and what they think is right.
For their
so
state,
on a local level, you should be able to look and say, hey, this is fair, this is not. And the national government should be able to step in and say, hey, the little guy's getting fucked here, and state, you can fuck off because we're protecting the little guy.
Yeah.
And that's the way that it should
That's how it should go. But I think now it's backwards of that. The states
opposite.
do what the national government want because they don't want to lose funding from the national government. So whatever the national government says, they're like, well, fuck, I guess we have to do it because we don't want to lose all this money.
So the state is in the back pocket of the national government, and meanwhile, the little guy just gets fucked.
Yeah, repeatedly.
They just get fucked all the time. You could go online right now and search eminent domain, or you could search abortion laws. You could search whatever you want, and you will find cases all over the place of the little guy being fucked by either the state or the national government.
Well, true, and then you can look at
it's completely opposite.
Yeah, you can look at what happened. It was either in Colorado or Wyoming not terribly long ago where the little guy had enough. The federal government was trying to come in and take a bunch of ranchers' land out there, and they all banded together and said, go fuck yourself, and basically created which was legal because due to the Second Amendment, you can form a well-armed militia in order to protect yourself if the government gets too powerful, which the government in that case was getting too powerful, trying to take these ranchers' lands for, it was some BS, I don't remember, but I think it was a pipe, maybe like an oil pipeline or something, surprise. And all these ranchers banded together with their legally owned guns and were like, you're not going to do this. And then they had a standoff with the friggin' FBI and one other agency. And that standoff lasted for a little while, and then finally the federal government was like, all right, fine, fuck, we won't take your land. And that was a W for the little guy, the everyday man. And it was a good example of how regular people realize that they actually hold the power and not the government, because that's how it was originally designed to set up, is because you needed a centralized government to run things, but it was supposed to be based off the needs of the people, and the people voted for someone to represent them and what they wanted to have happen for their respective area.
Google search the Bundy standoff.
Was that what it was?
Yeah.
Like they labeled that dude a criminal, and I was like, no, he's not a criminal. The man is protecting his land. Was it in Oregon? 2014 Bundy. Oh wow, that's coming up on 7-8 years ago. Wow.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Bundy standoff was an armed confrontation between supporters of cattle rancher Cliven Bundy and law enforcement following. It was a 21-year legal dispute in which the United States Bureau of Land Management obtained court orders directing Bundy to pay over $1 million in withheld grazing fees. Oh, this is what it was, for Bundy's use of federally owned land adjacent to Bundy's ranch in southeastern Nevada. So, but like his whole thing was, he's like, no, that's not your land. This is my land. And the government was like, well, no, it's ours. And he was like, no, fuck, it's not. And I'm not paying you this $1 million. Yeah, that's what it was. It wasn't an oil pipeline. It was his cattle stuff. Which, like, who the fuck cares? If your cows are grazing they're not tearing anything up. They're literally eating some grass. Like, I've been around cows, like, a lot. I go fucking country boy from freaking Arkansas. Cows do not fuck up the land when they graze. It looks just fine. You want to talk about some shit fucking up the land when they graze? Look at goats. Those don't give a fuck. Combo said one of the main problems of America is that the states have more power, not monetarily, than the federal government. That's not really like, I wouldn't call that a problem, Combo, because that's how it was like designed to be set up. essentially. Again, correct me if I'm wrong, other, U.S. history / political people, but like that's how it was designed. It's not a problem. Like the states are supposed to be able to govern themselves, and then the federal government is supposed to take care of basically the big picture stuff. It's not a problem, because what the problem would be is a government that's a big federal government that takes care of anything and everything, and then you will get in with the way things are now to be even more corrupt and tyrannical than what we've got. So I'm going to disagree with you on that one. It's not a problem. What else we got, chat? Alex, you're muted or not talking?
Oh, shit, my bad.
You're good. What's up?
I was muted. There was another one from Oregon. Oregon rancher killed in standoff, vowed to die before going to jail. It's just a very similar type deal to where, again, we literally founded this country based on taxation without representation.
Yeah.
That was the whole idea of America revolution being created. And now we find ourselves in this situation where no one is standing up for the little guy, dude. Like, no one stands up for the Oregon rancher whose land is being reclaimed. No one stands up for the 30 homeowners in Kentucky, other than Spike Cohen, whose land is being taken because they want to make a parking lot and a green space and a farmer's market. Like, yeah. I don't fucking care what you think is going to be more pretty or more beautiful. That the whole idea of creating this country was freedom, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That's what you should have. And if you're paying for a space to be within, no one should be able to come in and reclaim it, government or anybody else. It's asinine, dude. Yeah. It's crazy to me. It's just wild.
Yeah. Combo said that in Canada, the government can do major shit and there won't be 50 other governments trying to stop them. Well, the reason the 50 other governments try to stop them is because they don't agree with what the fucking federal government's trying to do, because it might not be in the best interest for their state. Yeah. I'm not, I gotta look at this sideways.
Checks and balances.
Yeah. Oh, I do remember this. These are widespread rent woes. Millions of households behind on payments. Estimated total rent debt 16. 1, 2.
Oh, you're talking about all the great.
Yeah. So 16 billion, almost 17 billion dollars. 6 million homes behind on rent. Children, almost 7 million children behind. Live in those households that are behind on rent. Source National Equity
So
Atlas.
now you're talking about the screenshot that I sent you.
Yeah.
So they, in that particular case, they were talking about the fact that the national government had extended the fact that renters can't collect from people that are behind on their rent. Mm-hmm. And I sent you that screenshot. And I said in the screenshot that I sent, I thought Joe was supposed to take care of this. I thought Joe was supposed to, make all this better. But instead of people getting ahead on their rent, people continue to get behind on their rent. Yeah. So I thought these stimulus checks were supposed to solve all this heartache that was involved in people being behind on their rent. Instead, we're continuing to go backwards. So again, nothing has fucking changed.
No, it's like, and in that regard, Nancy's right. Nothing changes. Everything's the same. Combo, like, we did the same thing here. Like, your provinces don't have any power. They focus more on localized issues that are major. For example, each province had their own response to COVID. Every state here had their own response to COVID. A majority of the states fell in line with what the federal government recommended. But states like Texas and some other southern states and other places, Florida decided that after a time, they were like, all right, we're fine. We're going to do it ourselves now, which is like they, yay me. I love you, Nancy. After a time, they were like, all right, we're going to do our own thing and what's best and what we think is best for our, for our state. So it's, and you went from there. What else you got for us, chat? This is kind of a more like off the cuff, episode. So anybody else got anything they want us to take a stab at?
Where are we at time wise?
Hour and a quarter.
Oh shit. Does not feel like an hour and a quarter.
Flies by every time.
Time's been flying. Yep.
But yeah, y'all got anything else for us?
And just to wrap up that conversation, that's how it should be designed to be handled, is let the local state take care of its local people. Because when you get to that broad generalization of an entire nation, you're never going to be able to keep all the people happy.
No,
so let the local officials and the local government decide what's best for that specific state. And if they're infringing upon the rights or the best interests of the local people, then the national government should step in and say, hey, you're not handling this right. So here we are to assist the citizens of your state.
Yeah.
But it is completely backwards right now.
Completely backwards.
It's
for sure.
all the way fucking backwards.
Yeah. Nancy said Halloween rocks. We are in the spooky season. I'm a big fan of this.
Spooky season?
Yep, I'm a big fan of the spooky season. We like Halloween. Halloween's a good time. Considering going as Tom Selleck this year for Halloween, just due to the mustache. Yeah. So we'll see how that goes.
Not a bad idea.
Not a bad idea. I'm just missing the 80s Ferrari, but maybe we'll come across one. Trev's just chilling. He likes to listen. Hey, we appreciate you hanging out and listening, Trev. If ever you have anything that's really burning and you want to say it, do not be afraid. Nancy also told us to stay the course. Thank you, Nancy. Thank you for your support. Much love.
We're trying.
We are.
We're trying.
Abby said she kind of wished that we could deep dive into how states are treating educators with COVID maybe another time. Oh, true. That would be a long discussion.
Yeah, that's...
We'll pencil it in. Where's my... I don't have a pen back here. Dang it. I was going to put it on a Post-it note. Dang it.
I can write it down.
Yeah, we'll have Alex write it down. I don't have a pen back here right now. We'll do some investigative journalism into that. But yeah, I don't really have anything else.
COVID on educators.
Yeah. Well, how states are treating educators basically with COVID. That's what she said.
You know what I thought was so silly about going to that concert the other night?
What was that?
Was that so you could either have a full vaccination card, you know, you're vaccinated to get into the venue, or you could have a negative COVID test within the last 72 hours.
Mm-hmm.
I was going into that venue thinking, okay, one of these people who are fully vaccinated could give me COVID and no one's better off. Or, you know what I mean? Everything's going to be the same. Instead of saying if you had a vaccination or a COVID test,
have both.
We could have just all taken a rapid COVID test when we got to the venue, and then everyone would know that we're all COVID free. No masks, no need to social distance. We're all COVID free. Everything's fine. But instead, you can either be fully vaccinated or you could have a negative COVID test.
Yeah, because
I do appreciate the negative COVID test aspect of it, to say, you know, you don't have to be vaccinated to come in here. But at the same time, if we just all took a COVID test, we'd all be fine.
Yeah. Trev said rapid for all would definitely make more sense, which I mean, I agree with that. Like, yeah, because like we've said before, you can be vaccinated, but still it doesn't stop you from getting COVID. You can still have it, and you could, you know, fucking still spread it around. But the rapid COVID test, you know, makes it a little bit better, because then you know that everybody's like, oh, we're good. Nobody within the last 3 days has caught COVID, and you feel a little bit more safe. Gail said, or you caught COVID that day and then spread it. I mean, that's always, you know, that's a possibility as well. But, you know, Kristen said she's over the vaccinated superiority complex. Yeah, and that's where I'm with that too. Like the whole like superiority complex that people have about being, oh, I'm vaccinated, so blah blah blah, and you're not, so you're like, you know, you're an unclean, a dirty. Like it's like that's not what that's not what it's about. Like it's they think that they have a fucking full superpower defense against it because you're like, oh, I'm vaccinated, so I'm fine. The government and the media has told me that I can't get it. No, moron. Like, why don't you come onto this podcast and listen to us tell you that, hey, we did our research. We obviously know how fucking vaccines work. It's not that you're not gonna get it. It's like if you get it, you're gonna have cold symptoms. You can still freaking get it, and you can still freaking transmit it. It just lessens your likelihood of fucking dying.
Another fun thing that I was thinking about this week is they call it a flu shot, right? They don't call it a flu vaccine.
Yeah.
Because it's not a vaccine. It's a flu shot that's going to help you deal with flu symptoms should you encounter the flu. Mm-hmm. Why the fuck are we calling it a COVID-19 vaccine? Yeah. Why aren't we calling it a COVID shot?
I call it a COVID shot.
Yeah, that's what you should call it because it's the same idea as a flu shot.
Actually, I don't call it that. I call it my Fauci ouchie.
Yeah, well, and that's fine too, right? But it's the same fucking thing. Get a flu shot. If you think you're going to die from the flu, get a flu shot. If you think you're going to die from COVID-19, get a COVID-19 shot. It's fine. But to say that it's a vaccine, like the amount of people, and I hate to sound like a broken record, I'm not even going to go into it very deep. The amount of people that I encounter still to this fucking day, to yesterday, to today, I'm sure I'll encounter another one tomorrow, that thinks if I get a COVID-19 vaccine, I'm not going to get COVID, is fucking astounding.
Yeah, it's
dude.
Dumb.
Like, it blows my mind.
It's dumb as hell. You're right, Abby. That's why they did it. That's why they did it, because it rhymed, so it sounded good. That's probably why. Somebody at some think tank somewhere was like, call it a vaccine because it rhymes with 19, and everybody was like, oh my god, give that guy a raise, he's a fucking genius. Like,
yeah, and everybody's gonna go out and get it. And in fact, enter him in a lottery in Ohio. If you get the vaccine, we'll put you in a lottery, and if you get a vaccine, we'll give you a free Krispy Kreme donut. Like,
or if you live in New Jersey, if you're fully vaccinated, you can have a free beer.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
stupid.
So stupid. Well, guys, I think that's pretty much it for us this week. We're on that. We're back to beating that dead horse. That poor horse has got the shit beat out of about 17 times by this point.
That poor horse.
It was already dead. We're like the Simpsons meme. We're like the
Simpsons. Somebody's called a vet.
Yeah, we're like the Simpsons meme where that kid goes, "Stop it! He's already dead." Or no, he said, "Stop it! You're killing him," or whatever. Like, yeah, we beat the.
You're killing him.
Yeah, we beat the shit out of that horse. It is on its last legs.
And if anybody wants any information on vaccines, I've done so much.
Alex did a lot of research.
Stupid research on this. You can send me a DM, and I will educate you on exactly what's going on, exactly what is true and what's untrue. And again, the idea is just if you feel like you're going to be safer getting a vaccine or a shot, get the COVID shot. And if you don't want to get the COVID shot, that's fine. You're running the risk of going into the hospital, but don't get it. Or get it. I don't fucking care. Do what you think is best for yourself and take vitamin D.
Vitamin D. Go out and get some sun and take a pill. Like, fuck, I don't care.
Yeah. Fish oil, vitamin D. Change your life.
And just practice good cleanliness habits, and like you'll be fine.
Wash your hands.
Thick slice of ham's timing, right? Because we're right at the end. Rest in peace. But anyway, I think
thick slice of ham really says "educate me, Alex" right at the end of the fucking podcast.
I'm saying, bro. But Nancy's yelling at you about Mexico.
Is that a real I can educate you in 2 minutes. If Thick Slice of Ham really wants me to educate her in 2 minutes, I can take 2 minutes and educate you. If not, you can go back and rewatch.
Yeah, the episode before you were on, Haley, was the one that Alex did all the research.
I'll do it. I'll take 2 minutes real quick. If you really want, we're here for the people, Darth.
This is true.
We're here for the people to educate them.
Imagine my fucking
want to be educated.
Stream monikers like now bleeding into the damn podcast.
Right.
Okay, so funny story. I actually said that shit the other day. So this is how much like freaking being a streamer on Twitch for video games has taken over my life. I literally like tripped in the same hole twice at work the other day, and the second time I did it, yeah, I wasn't really paying attention. But anyway, I literally like kind of like tripped a little bit on the second time, and out loud said, "Really, Darth? The same hole?" And then I stopped, and I was like, I'm not, what are you doing with your life, man? I'm not that person right now. Like this, I am freaking A1 cheesy, A1C Faye of the United States Air Force at this moment in time. Why are you living that life? I had to take a second, and I was like, God damn it.
Let me do a minute. I'll do it in a minute. I'm gonna set a timer on my phone real quick. Hold on. Set a timer for a minute. Okay, I'm on the clock.
Go.
Okay. COVID vaccine, right? Vaccine is not going to stop you from getting the virus. It's not a prophylactic. It's a gene therapy. So if you get COVID and you have the COVID-19 vaccine, chances of you going to the hospital are going to be extremely declined, which is great. So if you feel like you have pre-existing conditions, if you're overweight, you're not getting enough vitamin D, whatever the case may be, go get the shot. It's going to keep you out of the hospital. It's not a prophylactic. A prophylactic being, i.e., a shot that you're going to get like the polio vaccine that's going to stop you from getting the polio virus if you encounter the polio virus. So the COVID-19 virus is a thing. It will send you to the hospital if you're not well prepared. But getting the COVID-19 vaccine will not stop you from getting the COVID-19 vaccine or the virus. So in that case, I'm already out of a minute. In that case, it's not going to stop you from getting the virus if you have the vaccine. So go get the vaccine if you feel like it's going to be dangerous to you, because it will stop you from going to the hospital, getting on a ventilator, so on and so forth. If you don't feel comfortable interjecting a foreign substance into your body and you feel like your body will be able to handle COVID-19 fine, then don't get the vaccine. It's fine. It's not the polio vaccine. It's not a real vaccine. It's a gene therapy versus a prophylactic. A prophylactic will stop you from getting the virus if you encounter it. A gene therapy will help your body get through it if you do encounter it. So there you go.
There you go. We took 2 minutes. That's fine. We'll allow it.
Yeah. How'd I do?
You did pretty good. That was very succinct and well put. And Kristen's other point is it won't stop you getting other people sick. Also true.
That's the other thing. Getting the vaccine will not help your neighbors or the people around you for being more safe. You're just as susceptible to spread the virus with the vaccine as you are from not getting the vaccine.
Right.
So getting a vaccine is not helping your friends or your family or grandma or whatever the case may be. It's just simply not. Not getting the vaccine will, again, not help you from spreading it or giving it to your grandma, whatever the case may be. It's all going to be personalized to how your body is going to handle encountering the virus. So get the virus or don't get the virus. Get the vaccine or don't get the vaccine. Do whatever you think is right for yourself. And there you go.
Yep. And that's the other thing, Abby, which we should be compensated from NBC for friggin' ripping us off, because we said this forever ago that it is just going to be like the flu now. It's here and it's here to stay, and it's going to come back around over and over and over again. And then literally like a month ago, NBC was like, this is like going to be like the flu. And I was like, what the fuck?
And there's 2015 medical papers pointing to the fact that there's gene therapy vaccines or shots is actually what contributes to the mutation of the virus. No one's fucking talking about that right now. No, they literally 2015, go look it up, about the flu. They pointed to the fact that there is a vaccine or a shot that helps aid the human system against the virus is actually what contributes to the mutation of the virus. These are real papers. These are medical documents that have been established. no one fucking talks about this, and it's
why
crazy
I never
to me.
Got the flu shot while I was growing. Like after I had,
I
never got it until I joined the military, and they're like, you have to get this every year, and I was like, I don't want it. And they were like, too fucking bad.
I've never gotten a flu shot in my life because of the fact that I don't want foreign substances interjected into my body to help me deal with the virus that I think I can probably handle on my own. I don't need the help. If I'm 80 years old and I need the help, then I'm going to get the shot. But that's not the case here. Like it's how many times do I have to say this shit is mind-boggling to me?
Stop. The horse is dead, man.
Fucking mind-boggling to me. Get the COVID-19 shot if you want to, but it's not going to stop you from getting the virus. It's just not.
No, it's not. But yeah, like Krista said, get tested and wear a mask if you want to protect people. And
correct.
Fucking go from there. All right, we are at a.
All right.
We are at a tight hour and 30.
Soapbox.
Yeah, we are at a tight hour and 30. My last thoughts, because Nancy just said that y'all's family never got vaccinated. I am by no means anti-vax. I will get vaccines for the things I need to get vaccines for that I know my body can not fight by itself. The things that I think I can fight by myself, I don't want vaccines for. Unfortunately, in my case, I don't really have a fucking choice right now because the government tells me I have to do it. Whatever. Other than that, like that's it. That's it. That's the final thought. I'm done.
If you told me tomorrow that I have to get a booster for chickenpox and for polio, I would be the first in line to say, you know what? I don't want polio because that shit looks pretty bad.
I had that shit when I was a kid. No fucking thanks.
And I got a polio vaccination when I was young.
Yep, everybody did.
And that has stopped me from getting polio. So if I need another shot to stop me from getting polio, where do I sign up? Where do I get in line? What time do they open? But that's not the case here.
Yeah.
It's not, it's a gene therapy. It is not a prophylactic.
All right. And
that's a perfect way to wrap up.
Pretty much.
I'm not talking about it anymore. Done.
With that, we're going to call it for the week. Thank you everyone for hanging out and listening to us ramble on about our shit again. This will be up sometime within the next week. Actually, I kind of like uploading these as a teaser for the episode for Sunday night. So I will have this up next week. It'll be your little pregame for our episode next week. Other than that, I hope you guys all have a great week this coming week. Go out there, kill the work week. Get through it, do what you got to do, and get shit done. Have a safe week. Be good to yourselves and be good and kind to others. It costs you, like we said last week, it costs you absolutely nothing to be nice to somebody. $0, 0 cents. Be nice to somebody. If you're not wearing a mask, wherever you are, give them a smile. If you're wearing a mask, try and show that smile in your eyes. I don't know.
Smile with your eyes.
Smile with your eyes. Do something. Be nice to people. It doesn't cost you a damn thing. Other than that, y'all have a good week and tell somebody you love them.
Be good to people. Tell somebody you love them, all right? Love you guys.
Love y'all. We'll be seeing you.